Good evening, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you all have had a great weekend so far. There is a lot to talk about as we were talking about the tropical wave last night that had the potential. I think I had a 10% chance at that point to develop into a tropical depression. Well, chances have increased to a 50% chance for this thing off the coast of the southeast to turn to depression or a tropical storm. It would be Tropical Storm Danny. This is all happening very quickly. It's all going to unfold in the next 24 to 36 hours as far as where it's at now, all the way to the point where it makes landfall. So there's a lot to break down in this video. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. There's a chance that you might watch this video after the National Hurricane Center updates again here in the next hour. The chances might go up to 60% chance or something like that. Just so disregard the 50% chance if that is the case. But definitely hit the subscribe button. I upload content every day, and definitely like the video if you like it. And thank y'all for the incredible support. It's much appreciated. If y'all got anything that I can pray about, please put in the comments. It gives me an opportunity to pray for you guys. It gives other people an opportunity to pray for you. And we all can help each other out that way by glorifying God. So thank you for the incredible support. Now, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get going with this as we're inside 24 hours and maybe in a tropical storm potentially impacting Georgia and South Carolina. So let's talk about this. There's a 50% chance that this could develop within the next 48 hours per the latest 2 p.m. update. Like I said, this could be the 8 p.m. update by the time y'all watch this. This could go up to a 60 or 70% chance, or might not update at all. But it's definitely not going to increase, I'll tell you that. I mentioned this 2 days ago. Well, 36 hours ago, yesterday morning. And this thing has really came together. And this was just a tropical wave. There is a ridge of high pressure up here, forcing it down here. It's almost like a surface trough, but there is some low-level circulation beginning to form with this. Like I said, a 50% chance to develop. If you're wondering where it's headed, this is it. It's definitely, the models all have a bullseye heading towards the South Carolina and Georgia coastline. If you're wondering about the time period, like I said, it's going to be impacting the coastal areas as early as tomorrow afternoon. And we're not talking about a full-fledged hurricane. I'm talking about high-end, the potential, basically the worst case scenario would be a low-end tropical storm, I think, a 45, 50 mile per hour tropical storm. But that would warn a named tropical system, which would be Danny. And that could very well happen as this thing has not quite hit the Gulf Stream yet, which has water temperatures that are a good 2 to 5 degrees warmer than where it is right now. So that's a key factor with this. You can tell. Here's the satellite representation of this thing right now. It's sheared out a little bit, but if you look right into here, you can tell there is some low-level circulation right into here. It's exposed, and most of the convection is blowing up just north or northeast of the center, but there is some banding just north of this, not banding like convection blowing up around an eye of a hurricane or anything like that. It's not like that, but there is some convection blowing up for sure on the north and northwest side of the storm. So it's influenced by upper level low. It's interesting. It's a very interesting little system as it's heading right towards Georgia and South Carolina. So this is all unfolding very quickly. It kind of reminds me of Tropical Storm Bertha last year that kind of snuck up on the Carolinas and ended up making landfall in South Carolina. This is kind of a situation like that. A lot of people aren't going to hear much about this until either right now or within the next day, and by then it's going to be making landfall. So it's very interesting. You can look right here and tell where the convection is really sitting. The convection is really blowing up. You see some high cloud tops here. So very, very interesting storm as this thing is heading towards the coast right now. This is right around where our storm is, right into here, and temperatures sitting over sea surface temperatures around 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to get over to the Gulf Stream where the temperatures are probably pushing the low to mid 80s. So right when it gets right into here, which is going to go over probably later tonight into tomorrow morning, it's going to have a chance to really intensify. Not really intensify as into a hurricane or anything, but it is going to have a chance briefly right in here in the little armpit of the southeast coast. And I tell you, tropical systems rarely make impact in the Georgia coast, but this one has a chance to do it. But right here, kind of in the cup right here of the southeast, it's going to go over the Gulf Stream and have a chance to briefly intensify to a tropical storm, I think. I think no doubt this is going to be a depression. It might be a tropical depression at the next update. So it's going to be very interesting if it is. As far as model intensities, this doesn't really matter much. This thing's only going to be over water for probably another 36 to at most 48 hours. Most keep it at a tropical depression. The tracks keep it all pretty much going right in the South Carolina, Georgia coastline. Might be on the Georgia, might technically be on the South Carolina, but they're pretty much all zoned into the same area. So South Carolina, especially the low country, Charleston Point South, maybe as far north as the Midlands of South Carolina, areas, basically this thing is going to probably go right into Atlanta. There's just going to be a lot of showers, gusty winds, maybe the most of 25 to 35 miles per hour, but could be a little more intense, especially if this thing continues to intensify. So let's look at the NAM and then let's look at the HRRR model run. So what the NAM is showing with this is you can see it right off the coastline here. Check it out. We're this evening. We're getting into overnight Monday. I know you're thinking, well, this doesn't look like much at all, but we're getting into tomorrow morning. A lot of the convection and the action is right off the coast of Georgia. But as we're getting into the afternoon hours of Monday, it starts to move onshore. And this could be some really heavy rain. I know it doesn't look like much. It looks like one big thunderstorm, a couple big thunderstorms. But this could pack a little bit of a punch, especially if some of this heavy rain gets closer to Charleston, where it's a very flood-prone city. It could pack a little bit of a punch. You look at the HRRR model, it doesn't look much different. It looks a little bit more intense as far as the precipitation. I think it looks a little bit further north. But you can check out the little bit of the spin. But it makes landfall, or whatever it is, makes landfall tomorrow afternoon and evening. And the actual circulation might not make a landfall until tomorrow night. But it just looks like some gusty showers, some storms, and some gusty winds, and maybe some flooding, maybe a couple inches of rain. And we'll check that out here, right here. Look at the winds with this thing. The shades you see in the green, like the circulation's right here. Most of the gustier winds is going to be on the north side of the storm. The greens, that's 20 miles per hour or higher. So there might be some gusty winds, and this is actually just the wind speeds. This is not wind gust. So maybe some a short, brief time, a period could be maybe just sustained winds of maybe 15 to 25 miles per hour. So maybe a little bit of coastal flooding, but, especially maybe up there in Charleston where it's going to push a little bit of storm surge, probably just a little bit, but a little bit is enough to cause flooding in places like Charleston and low-lying areas along the coast. Charleston floods very, very easily, way too easily. I'm really worried about when they're going to get their next all-out hurricane like a Hugo or something, how that city's going to handle that. I think it's going to be devastating, but the winds really move onshore tomorrow evening, and it's just going to be some, basically Savannah to Charleston, the coastal areas of Georgia, and all the way up to the coastal areas of South Carolina to about Charleston, and even a little bit inland. It's just going to be some gusty winds, some heavy showers and storms. I don't think it's going to be any kind of full-fledged tropical storm conditions, but depending on where you are under some of the bands of showers and storms, it can be pretty intense. So definitely watch these areas out here. Now, it's not going to move in motion for me, but let's see if I can get this in motion. Basically, as far as rain totals, guys, really, you can see a couple inches of rain. I don't think this is going to be a huge rain deal. I know this map looks a little weird. This is the actual National Weather Service map, which always kind of looks kind of odd because the zones cut off in different areas. And where the zone cuts off, if that zone doesn't agree with the amounts that the other zone sits at where it gets cut off, then it looks kind of weird, like right here. But anywhere basically from Savannah, the whole coastal area of Georgia, maybe even northern coastal areas near Jacksonville, maybe. But I think most of the rain's going to be up here towards Savannah, maybe up to Charleston, where a couple inches of rain at most could really fall. So, and it even gets inland to Atlanta. If you're like in places like Augusta, for sure, you're going to get rain off this tropical system. But as far as up toward Columbia, South Carolina, I think y'all might be a little too far north, but I definitely won't rule out some showers and storms. Very tropical day tomorrow. You're going to really feel it's going to be very humid tomorrow. So, very interesting as we take a look at this again. Low-level circulation definitely spinning there. So this is starting to look like a good storm. By the time some of you guys watch this video, who knows, it might be a tropical storm. there's a good chance maybe some of y'all watching to have this already officially declared a tropical depression. If it is, this is just earlier information, but it still stays the same as this thing really looks like it's going to plow right into the Georgia and South Carolina coastline. So very interesting storm, not very, very impactful, but a potential to take a name out the hurricane list and a continual early start to hurricane season as we get going deeper in the year. So that's all I got. Hope you guys have a blessed night. Thank y'all for tuning in.